President Biden laughing off the threat of the Chinese Communist Party, saying that there will be no change to U.S.-China relations, despite the fact that the Communist Party flew a spy flight into America and the national security team allowed it to float throughout the country for a week. Now the flight remnants will be analyzed by the FBI in the coming days after divers rescued what they could from the ocean. The military remaining cautious on reports it's full of potential explosive devices. Joining me right now is Florida Congressman, member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Transportation and Infrastructure Committees, and a patriot and veteran of our great country, Brian Mast. Congressman, thanks very much for being here this morning. It's always an honor and pleasure to talk with you. Thank you so much for your service to America.
Thank you. Time of my life.
Congressman, I'm very disturbed by what we saw last week. I know that this administration has tried hard to change the conversation, to let us forget or ignore the absolutely extraordinary situation that took place where a spy flight from communist China was able to breach our sovereignty and travel much of the United States above military installations, no less, sending data live back to the CCP as it traveled. How damning was this, even as the White House tries to change the conversation to, oh, this has happened before, no big deal, it happened under Trump? No, it didn't. We know that nothing like this happened under Trump, or any other president, by the way. Never did a spy flight travel in America for a week and able to send data back to the Communist Party of China.
It's not a laughing matter on any front of it. It's not a laughing matter that we would allow something to enter our airspace. We all know that that is a threat. There could have been a very clear message sent to China. Hey, we're anticipating this coming into U.S. airspace. The moment that it does, it's going to be shot down. We are not going to play softly in this Cold War with you, China, Xi Jinping. That could have been a message that was sent. Why does this matter that this balloon was floating across America in very technical and literal terms? Let's compare it to a satellite or to our camera phones. When you're moving a camera phone more quickly, you're going to get a more pixelated image, a less clear, a more foggy image. When it's further away from what you're taking a photo of, it's going to be less clear. The balloon offers what? It was at a lower orbit and it was moving more slowly. So when it's going across a military base, something they might be able to tell the difference of versus a satellite is that just a tarp and there is a jet underneath of it or something that's hiding underneath of that? Or is that just a piece of ground, something they couldn't maybe tell with satellite imagery? It allowed for more clear imagery, and that's a very big deal. So, well, Joe Biden and the CIA are going to assess the remnants of the balloon that floated across America. China is right now assessing the intelligence that they gathered by allowing a balloon to float across America.
Well, I want to get your take on what John Ratcliffe said, the former director of national intelligence, in terms of the capabilities that this balloon or sky flight had. Watch this.
We know from public reporting, without getting into anything classified, that China, for at least 6 years, has been successfully deploying payloads, including drones, from stratospheric balloons. And what's publicly known is that the U.S. military and Department of Defense has a number of projects out there involving stratospheric or stratolight balloons and different types of possible payloads that could be deployed. As you talked about, everything from cicada drones to very small electronic listening devices that could run on solar power and transmit data back interminably.
Do you think that's what was happening here?
I think Director Ratcliffe gave a very good assessment of what is taking place here and has been taking place for a long time. He's very smart on these issues, was when he was in the House. And you look at that and you ask the question to say, is that true? Does the president's national security team know that that is true? Yes, they do. So if they know that, and intelligence gathering is a big part of the forefront of this Cold War with China, then why would they allow them to gather any intelligence? And that's what doesn't add up. It's not tactical as it relates to our national security objectives. It's not strategic as it relates to our national security objectives. We know they're spying, whether buying up farms outside of military bases, or whether on TikTok, or whether buying up ports in the Bahamas or on either side of the Panama Canal or other places. This is their goal. Information weakening the United States of America. Why would we allow it to happen on any front whatsoever? It does not add up.
Well, there's also, the director, Radcliffe, also said that the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan was also partly architectured from China. A senior administration official tells Fox News that during tonight's State of the Union address, the president will make a, quote, reference to the Chinese spy aircraft, but he's not going to go into it. So here we have a situation that is unprecedented, never happened before, and sort of the latest in terms of this soft response to the provocations from communist China, including that botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. By the way, I know it broke your heart to see that after your time in Afghanistan for this great country.
Everything with this administration is a botched response or a soft response to our border. You talk about the State of the Union address. I'm bringing as my guest Lieutenant Colonel Stu Scheller. You may remember that name. He was separated from the Marine Corps, thrown in the brig for doing what? Demanding accountability from the military that he had given his life to serve, and he was thrown in a military jail for demanding that accountability. 13 Americans killed, billions of dollars of equipment that Americans paid for, sent to terrorists in China and other places. No accountability, soft handling of every policy as it relates to China back to the day that President Biden was inaugurated. That can't be the way of strength moving forward. That doesn't give a sense of peace to the American people that we're in the position that we need to be to fight this war.
Well, and it doesn't give the confidence to the men and women who are on the front lines like you were, the confidence to keep on going and keep on fighting. I'm really glad you're bringing him as your guest. He's another great patriot. Congressman, thanks very much for all that you do. We appreciate your time this morning.
I wish you the best.
All right, Brian Mast joining us this morning.